pretty
Fear
light.
of a white fear of losing the white planet. I'm starting to see it.
No, they don't care. They don't care. Yeah, maybe a couple of them did.
All right, so 3,000 people who are heroin addicts showing each other their battle scars. Of the 3,000 people, just from my own curiosity, how many had tattoos?
I would probably say 2990.
90% of them did?
Yeah, at least.
At least, right? Okay, so to qualify for HA so far, for anybody listening who's not, who's just a cocaine addict or an alcoholic like myself, apparently if you're not slamming it, you're not trying hard enough. Have you ever heard that? I've heard that.
No, no, a lot of those kids only smoked it.
Really?
Yeah.
That probably, to a real heroin addict, I'm not trying hard enough if I'm smoking or snorting it.
Right. Well, okay.
I'm just being honest.
Entitled to that opinion.
Heroin addicts are somewhat snobby in my mind. Like, I know slammers. I don't want to be a jerk about it, but they seem to be... Like, different. If you're not sticking it into a needle, you're just really not putting effort in.
Right. I have somebody that feels that way about butt rockets.
What the hell is that?
It's when you don't have any needles, so you just stick it up your butt.
No shit. I mean, literally.
It's the closest thing to slamming.
Literally, no shit. That's
probably
crazy.
A lot of shit. Yeah.
So I thought the worst thing that could happen to me is sucking dick for drug money. It's how I'm now putting drugs into my body.
Sucking dick's bad?
Yeah. Well, not if you're into sucking dick.
Oh, isn't everybody?
No, that's...
I mean, I'm not, but I don't know.
Right, I'm with you.
A lot of people that are into it.
Yeah, there are people that are into it. We're not those people.
See, that's a whole different discussion because I think it has
You'd have prostituted yourself.
If I could, sure.
Sure, right. You're in that category.
Sure.
Nobody was buying the you.
You mean all those women didn't really like to suck dick?
Some did. But I'm going to go way out on a limb and say
people did something they didn't want to do because of drugs.
Because of drugs, right. Guys don't have it. Like, girls, I get how degrading it is, women. Well, we don't have women who listen to the show, and we certainly don't have smart women who listen to the show. We've made that a long-standing principle. And the one that probably was listening was turned off when I said that again.
Yes.
So my point to it is...
Send your emails, too.
Yeah, blackwhiterecovery@gmail.com. So... They're not going to write. None of them seem to be literate enough to write. Maybe I'm going to just go the anger angle and see if that works. So, when
were you not the anger angle?
I think I'm.
Say that 3 times fast first thing in the morning.
That is tough. All right, so, all right, follow me on this. I agree that women do degrading things for sobriety. But I also agree that they've actually got that option. Guys don't have that option. I just don't believe that guys have that option. Like, guys have to resort to actual theft and thuggery.
Right.
I don't think that, going into the sex trade to feed your drug addiction is quite as prevalent in the male society as it is the female society. I'm sure that's going to piss off some guy who sucked dick for drug money. So if that's you and you're listening, write about it, tell your sponsor. Jesus.
Write about it, tell your sponsor.
Calm down. Okay, so you got 3,000 people. So you spoke at this convention. No.
I had to go speak at my home group.
Oh, okay.
Because the speaker we had lined up for home group wanted to stay at this convention, so they, blew off every commitment. A lot of people in the home group last night blew off their commitments to stay at the convention.
So you wound up speaking to a room full of, 3 people?
10. 10 instead of... No, 20. Nah, there's 20. 20 instead of 50.
Were there women at least?
Yeah, and a lot of it was that 10 needed a break from the convention.
Wow.
Too much going on there.
Why do they need a break from the convention?
Because they probably felt a little guilty about blowing off their home group.
Okay.
Actually, no, because they weren't even home group members. No, they were just there all day, and they had you know how it is when you're in the same place all day. You get the spilkies. You want to just change the scenery for an hour or something.
No, I don't actually. I didn't. I'm not.
You don't stay in a place for the same time.
Are we gonna have this? Are we gonna have a weird discussion about going to conventions? I am not a fan of conventions. I know you will find this. No, you won't find this hard to believe because you actually know me. For those that know me, well, nobody listening to the show actually knows me really that well. I'm not good in social environments. I'm socially awkward. For those of you who don't know, my real life, I'm a professional speaker and a personality. However, in my private life, I like to be left the fuck alone. I have a very close-knit group of friends that I open myself to, but beyond that, like if I go to an event or something by myself, I'm a wallflower. Like I can't handle. I become that same angsty 13-year-old who can't cope with 8th grade. That's my whole gig. Like I'm still emotionally there. Wow, this is a weird show. So yeah. I'm not a fan of conventions. I think they do more harm than good, and I think they're cliquish.
What if you looked at them as orgies with speaker meetings?
Okay, maybe because I was never a part of the orgies. Okay? Never. And I've been to the CA convention out in Palm Springs many a time, which was
that's
quote
a good one.
Unquote
that's a big orgy.
Meat market convention.
Well, right, because you got out-of-state people. You never have to talk to them again. It's
right.
Perfect.
And you're in Palm Springs, and it's hot, so there's either the pool or your room. There's nothing else in Palm Springs. Let me tell you the brilliance of doing your
convention. The casino. You can go to the casino.
But that's pre-casino, man. I mean, back in the late 90s.
Yeah, you're right.
August. I'll tell you all about Palm Springs in late 90s. There was a gay club, a strip club, some hotels.
What about Sherman? Sherman's was there.
Yeah, probably. I mean, but man, it was... You just went to the convention. And being newly sober in the early 90s and going to it...
Right.
That's all you did. You went to the pool and then you went and you did... Like, conventions aren't about going and doing convention shit. There aren't marathons of the 12 steps. This is why... Didn't we have this talk on one of the shows of why I no longer go to meetings and I'm just burned out, is based on my local CA group not wanting to actually do a real convention, and instead they just turned it into this glorified... And don't get me wrong, I got time, so I was a part of the club, but that whole dick-sucking session of let's do the countdown so all of us with time can feel good about ourselves.
I never agree with that.
That's bullshit.
I guarantee you
How is there... And I said this...
Over 50% of the last guy standing did it so he could be the last guy standing.
Right. Okay, and the thing that I hated, which turned me off forever, which made me literally walk away, you had one new person, like one person, and maybe...
Right. Used in the hotel room that morning. Just
right. But, I mean, when you're talking people with less than 30 days, we had maybe 10 of them. 10 of them. Right. At a convention. You're kidding me, right? That's all you could muster together were 10 new people for a CA convention. Fucking, wow. It's astonishing. It's and as I sat there at the dinner and I looked at the price tags and what everybody, I said, "This is a dinner so you guys can feel good about yourselves. This is just a dick sucking session. Yay, we're all still alive. Let's give ourselves a big dinner. Yay."
Yeah.
No, it's about the new. I was always taught it was about the newcomer. Always. Now I just don't care. I've discovered life on the other side. I can tell everybody the secret of getting sober, but they're not going to like it. You have to make the rudimentary lifestyle changes and not ever do it again. You do. I mean, and you have to keep yourself around people that are sober. I mean, I get the point of the fellowship. And for those of you wondering, yes, my actual closest friends are in the program. They all think I'm not sober either because I don't go to meetings. But... c'est la vie. So you got 3,000 people. You go
Yep.
and speak at your meeting, and then what? You pile the 10 people back in your car and you go over to the convention for what? The pseudo marathon?
Basically. Well, at that time, they had just left the speaker meeting, so they were going to eat. So we were all going to meet at this pizza place, which closed 10 minutes before we got there.
Right.
But it was in a shopping center big city center that we can go to this Mexican place. And but a lot of people didn't show up because they were going to the pizza place, and they didn't know to reach out on Messenger to get the update.
Okay, so now you're doing a meeting after both meetings at a mall-type setting. How many people are
kind of like a city walk type setting.
All right, how many people are hanging out?
25.
Okay, 25 people. What is the average age of this group?
Average, I would say 28. Maybe
okay.
25.
What is the biggest problem? What is the topic of conversation with 28-year-olds these days in that circle?
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. A sponsee dragged me to the side and said, "Hey, can we go sit over there?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I really wasn't at the table, and then a few people had left, and we moved back over there. Let's see, the topic was skydiving.
No, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was skydiving.
Not real life problems. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Not really anybody getting into real life problems. Talking about the two people that had just left the table because I guess they were not a couple.
Okay.
And there wasn't and how good the food was. The food was excellent.
So nobody's even talking program.
No, not when I was there. I mean, I was talking program with my sponsee, but then we went back over there.
What was his angst? Well, you can't talk about that because then you won't have a sponsee.
Yeah, that's. Thank you.
Was it real life?
Yeah. It was more about boredom and recovery.
Boredom and recovery.
Yeah.
Another one of those. I didn't get sober to be a dull person. Wah.
Well, no, he's just working real hard and he doesn't have time for a relationship.
Yeah, that shouldn't preclude you from banging everything that isn't bolted down. Because then what he'll do is wind up marrying someone. Do they not know?
Well, he's kind of had it with the few program girls he's dated. So he's staying away from program and trying to
all right,
find
I'm
love
going to
on
hip everybody
Tinder
up
and
between
Bumble.
the ages of 20 and 39. Okay, you guys ready? Everybody listening, here it is. If you get sober between the ages of 21 and 39 and you, quote-unquote, don't get into a relationship, right, you're going to wind up marrying the first sober person you fall in love with. And that relationship will not 100% work out at all. You think you're different. You think you're going to break the odds.
Special.
You're not. I do not know of anybody, like, I don't even know long-term relationships, like, where people had real time when they got together in the program working out. Like, I don't know. Oh, we go to meetings together. Yeah, it doesn't work. It's never worked. Do you know any happy endings to this?
Very few.
Yeah. It's easier to win the lottery, I think. So
yes.
Here is my personal advice. Get in as many relationships as you can. Ditch that old thinking. Bang away.
Yep. I'm on board with that.
Seriously. The sooner you get it under your belt and you get a few under your belt and you don't get your emotions involved with it, because your emotions are going to get involved the first time. Everybody who says, I'm not going to get involved in a relationship is going to get involved in a relationship. And they're going to fall in love and they're going to screw it up.
Yeah, well, I go through periods where I know that I'm creating damage in a recovery relationship. And sometimes you just get tired of creating damage.
So 3,000 people get together. Is today the final day of HA?
Yeah. Well, it's basically already done. They'll have some closing thing in it.
They didn't have a marathon. Let's see if it's a real bullshitty convention, shouldn't they be having a breakfast right about now?